Almost 300 people remain unaccounted for after a ferry carrying 459 people capsized and sank off South Korea. The ferry, carrying mainly school students, was traveling from the port of Incheon, in the northwest, to the southern resort island of Jeju. Emergency teams are using floodlights and flares to search the stricken vessel through the night. Those rescued have been taken to a nearby island. 4 people are now said to have died and dozens of others have been hurt. South Korean officials had earlier said that 368 people had been plucked to safety, but later said there had been a counting error. They have now revised down the number rescued to 174. Images showed the ferry listing at a severe angle and then later almost completely submerged, with only a small part of its hull visible. It sank within 2 hours of sending a distress signal, reports said. There are fears this could turn out to be South Korea's biggest maritime disaster for more than 20 years, says the BBC's Martin Patience in Seoul. Cause unclear. Several Coast Guard, military and commercial vessels were involved in the rescue effort, which unfolded rapidly on Wednesday morning. Pictures from the scene showed rescue teams balanced on the sinking hull pulling teenagers from cabin windows. Some of their classmates jumped into the sea as the ship went down. Reports suggest some of those rescued were picked up by nearby commercial vessels. The U.S. Navy has sent an amphibious assault ship, the USS Bonhomme Richard, to assist with the search, officials say. Teams of Navy divers were now searching the scene for those unaccounted for, officials said, but the work was challenging. There is so much mud in the sea water and the visibility is very low, said Lee Jae-yong-ok, Vice Minister of Security and Public Administration. One body, of a female crew member, had been recovered from the ship, the Coast Guard said. Another person, a male high school student, died after being rescued. One student told local media her friends became trapped. Currently, I am in the middle of being rescued. At the time, the ship was turning on its side, and none of us were moving as we were told not to move as it was dangerous, the unnamed student said. So, I am not well aware of the situation, but I am told that my friends and other friends could not escape as the passage was blocked. It seems that there are many students who could not get out as the passage was blocked by water. It is not yet clear what caused the incident, but witnesses described hearing an impact before the ship listed and quickly sank. One passenger told the YTN News channel, "We heard a big thumping sound and the boat stopped. The boat is tilting and we have to hold on to something to stay seated," the passenger said. Another passenger said the ship was shaking and tilting, with people tripping and bumping into each other. South Korean President Park Geun-hye has expressed sadness over the incident, saying it was truly tragic that students on a field trip were involved in such an unfortunate accident. Kim Young-boon, an official from the company which owns the ferry, has apologized. "I would like to say sorry to the passengers, which include a number of students and their parents, and promise that our company will do its best to minimize loss of life. We are sorry," he said, according to the AP news agency. Weather conditions were described as fine. Yonhap news agency said that the ferry sank at a depth of 30 meters, 90 feet. News agencies said the ferry had sent out a distress signal about 20 kilometers, 12 miles, off the island of Byungpung at about 9 o'clock local time, 0 o'clock GMT. "We will try to determine the cause of the accident after rescue operations are over," said Lee Jae-yong-ok. Many of the passengers were students from a high school in a suburb of Seoul heading off on a 4-day field trip to Jeju. Angry parents have gathered at the school in Ansan to demand answers, reports the BBC's Lucy Williamson in Seoul. Earlier reports put the number of passengers on the ferry at about 350. The vessel is reported to have a capacity of up to 900 people. Lee Jae-yong-ok, the Vice Minister of Security and Public Administration, was quoted by the AP news agency as saying that 30 crew members, 325 high school students, 15 school teachers and 89 non-student passengers were aboard the ship.